I would imagine everybody thinks I'm going to come in here today with my tail between my legs. I would imagine everybody thinks I've got some medicine to take. Dak to reality. I saw the tweets. Dak Prescott's been exposed. Oh, look, it was all a mirage of weak competition. Dak Prescott and your love, Will, and the Dallas Cowboys 3-0 record were built upon the backs of NFL cellar dwellers in the New York Giants, the Miami Dolphins, and the Washington Redskins. I would imagine that's what you think would happen today. But it's not. The Dallas Cowboys lost last night to the New Orleans Saints 12-10, an absolute slugfest, a defensive battle. One that saw offensive grind to the halt on both sides. And the Cowboys lose to a backup quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. And many people think now Will finally come to his senses. Now he will see what we all have seen. That Dak Prescott is a high-end game manager. And if you shut down Zeke and press his receivers, he just can't make the pass. And you would be wrong. Not just about your expectations of me, but your analysis of football. That loss last night for the Dallas Cowboys was not on Dak Prescott. It was not his fault. Perhaps he didn't rise to the occasion in a way you would hope for somebody who has 14 fourth-quarter comebacks. Perhaps he wasn't perfect. But he also wasn't the problem. In fact, I'll give you 3 reasons the Dallas Cowboys lost that game, and all 3 reasons are much bigger, more important, and serious than Dak Prescott's performance. First, Kellen Moore. We sang the praises of the young offensive coordinator for 3 straight weeks. He was creative. He was fascinating. He opened up the offense in Dallas. He ran RPOs. He had pre-snap motion. He got them to get the playoff early in the play clock. Everything was designed to keep the defense on its heels, keep the defense guessing. And last night, they reverted to predictability. Last night, the Dallas Cowboys reverted to the 2018 Scott Linehan-led offense and not the 2019-led Kellen Moore offense. Everyone knew what was going to happen on any given occasion. First down, they're going to run the ball unsuccessfully. Second down, they're going to have a long pass. Sit back and stop the pass. Third down, they have to pass again on a long conversion. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. It's exactly the way it was a year ago, and it was exactly the way the Saints expected it to be. The Dallas Cowboys robbed themselves of unpredictability. They robbed themselves of creativity. They let the Saints know exactly what they were going to do, and the Saints were exactly better than them and stopped it. I can't let this go. I can't talk about coaching and leave it there without bringing up the ginger clapper. I have to say, somewhere deep in my heart, I know the ginger clapper was behind the conservative offense we saw in New Orleans. Somewhere deep in my heart, I know that Jason Garrett told Kellen Moore, let's keep it close to the vest. Let's play it tight. It's a hostile environment. It's loud. We're on the road. Let's run the ball. Coaching was the first problem for the Dallas Cowboys last night. Number 2, the offensive line. This highly touted offensive line, described as the best in the NFL, or at least top 3 in the NFL, was not good. It got pushed around by the New Orleans Saints defensive line, and it wasn't blitzes or bringing pressure from all angles that threw the offensive line off. It was just out-muscling them, just bettering them. Malcolm Brown, Marcus Davenport, these guys pushed the Dallas Cowboys offensive line around. This was a slugfest, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later in the show. A slugfest that all too often is the way big NFC games go. And the Saints outslugged the Cowboys. And that brings me to number 3, Ezekiel Elliott. If you're the highest paid running back in the game, if you are one of the best running backs in the game, if you are the best running back in the game, you have to average more than 1.9 yards per carry. If the game is going to be on your shoulders, and the Saints invited that, and the Cowboys accepted that invitation, run Zeke. Let's see what happens. They didn't put 8, 9 men in the box. They said, we'll stop you with 5, 6, 7. And they did. Ezekiel Elliott has to be better than that. He has to be better than Alvin Kamara. Ask yourself, who was the better running back last night? It was the Saints running back, Alvin Kamara, who broke tackles, who was slippery, who kept those chains moving for the Saints when they needed to dominate the ball. And oh, they did. Time of possession and the ball. No, last night's loss wasn't on Dak Prescott. He's fine. And by the way, the Cowboys will be fine. They're 3-1. As long as Ezekiel Elliott, the offensive line, and Kellen Moore get better. Nobody thought the Cowboys were going to go 16-0. Nobody thought a 30-year-old offensive coordinator wouldn't have a few bumps and bruises along the way. There wouldn't be a few ups and downs. Let's just make sure there's ups after this down. And that's Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less, only at Walmart. This morning on ESPN LA, Keyshawn Johnson, LZ Granderson, and Travis Rogers were talking about, did you have faith in Dak? Or in the West, with the Rams versus the Buccaneers, did you have faith in Jared Goff to bring his team back against the Buccaneers? Listen.
Jared Goff had the ball. Dak Prescott had the ball. Who'd you feel better about going down and getting what they needed to get done?
Ooh.
Because I have an answer, and I don't like it.
Well, based upon the way that they both were playing, I felt better about the Rams than I did about Dak.
You did.
Because if nothing else...
I felt better about Dak.
I felt better about that, too, because he can move, he can run. He had a couple good runs. So I was like, oh, he might be able to...
thrown 3 interceptions
but that dude had thrown for 200 yards?
Yeah, but I wasn't even... It wasn't even about that.
So his number one guy couldn't get open, they couldn't run, and Dak was making bad decisions. At the very least, we knew Jared Goff was completing a heck of a lot of passes.
I just felt like in that moment, Dak was going to grow up.
On ESPN LA 710, Travis Rogers and Keyshawn Johnson had more faith in Dak Prescott, and LZ Granderson had more faith in Jared Goff. Do you? Who is Jared Goff? Yeah, he passed for 500 yards in a loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He also threw 3 picks and had a fumble returned for a touchdown. Jared Goff is infuriating. The minute you start to doubt him, he hits a big third down conversion 22 yards down the field. And the minute you start believing in him, he turns the ball over and gives you Eli face as he walks to the sideline. Who is Jared Goff? Give me the historical comp. And would you rather have him than Jimmy Garoppolo? That's coming up on The Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
And now, a thought from Geico Motorcycle.
It took 15 minutes to take a spirit animal quiz online.
Please be the cheetah. Please be the cheetah.
And learn your animal isn't the cheetah, but the far less appealing blobfish.
Oh, come on.
To add insult to injury, you could have used those 15 blobfish minutes to switch your motorcycle insurance to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.
This is Will Cain.
It's my job to tell the truth.
That's Will Cain.
I'm going to shoot this. You have to be wearing all denim if you're going to say
baby.
Forever in blue jeans.
Will Cain, check him out 4 o'clock on ESPN
Be
Radio?
3.
3 o'clock. I knew that. Totally knew that. 3-6 on ESPN Radio.
I'm telling you, on one hand, Jared Goff outduels Patrick Mahomes 1 year ago. Over 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. On the other hand, Jared Goff throws 3 interceptions, has a fumble return for a touchdown, and loses to Jameis Winston. It's enough to pull your hair out. On one hand, Jared Goff can take you to a Super Bowl. On the other hand, Jared Goff can single-handedly lose a game to some of the worst teams in the league. Who is Jared Goff? It's the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Progressive Insurance. There's a lot of people asking, why did the Rams give him so much money? Why'd they pay him $34 million a year? Why'd they give him over $100 million in guaranteed money? Why do they believe in Jared Goff? People are starting to wonder, is he just a system quarterback? To be fair, they've wondered that for some time, but they're starting to decide that the answer is yes. Well, I have a theory on why Sean McVay and the Rams brass are so dedicated to Jared Goff, why they believe so much this can work. And that's coming up in just a moment here on the Will Cain Show. But we have a quick show announcement to make, and it's a big one.
New affiliate alert. New affiliate alert. New affiliate alert.
Just 3 weeks after adding the second biggest market in the United States of America to the Will Cain Show, In Los Angeles, we have added the biggest market in the United States. The number one radio market is now carrying the Will Cain Show. We are on 1050 ESPN in New York City. The Will Cain Show is now truly coast to coast. These are markets. These are ratings never seen in this time slot. We promise to keep bringing you this show that is earning your attention, your ratings, your dedication, whether or not you're in L.A., New York, Dallas, or anywhere in between. We'll keep doing the same great show that's earning so much support. We're proud to be on 1050 ESPN in New York, and we thank you for picking us up, Mr. McCarthy. That's our big show announcement, and now, back to the question. I ask you, who is Jared Goff? Patrick in Florida, who is he?
Hey, well, I think he's just like Jay Cutler. He's got all the talent in the world. He makes throws that make you think you're going to win every week, and then all of a sudden you're 8-8.
You know, I hadn't thought about that name, Patrick, but here's what I like about it. It's the roller coaster ride of talent. It's the roller coaster ride of delivery and the roller coaster ride of soul-crushing mistakes. Thanks for the call, Patrick. I asked a lot of my buddies yesterday. I asked a lot of the guys on the show, just watching that game, watching the Rams-Buccaneers, watching the Rams climb back in, cough it up, climb back in, cough it up. Jared Goff passed for over 500 yards. He had 68 pass attempts. That's absurd, by the way. There's just no reason you should be passing the ball 68 times. I asked everybody, who's Jared Goff? Here are the names I got back. There was talk of Eli Manning. But you know what? I don't think that's fair. Nuno, who runs the show, looked up Jared Goff's stats compared to Eli Manning. Eli throws more interceptions than Jared Goff's been throwing. But Eli's also won 2 Super Bowls. Is that fair? Is Jay Cutler fair? Jared Goff just took the Rams to a Super Bowl. That's something that Jay Cutler never accomplished. There was talk of Carson Palmer. Who is Jared Goff? That's the point, man. I don't have the answer because it's infuriating. All I know, and I have to tell you, I do believe this at this point. I don't think Jared Goff is good enough. I don't think he's good enough to go where the Rams know they can go. The Los Angeles Rams are a Super Bowl team. I do not think Jared Goff is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So with that, let's play a little game of Would You Rather. Where exactly is Goff? I've said he is a Tier 2 quarterback, a low-end Tier 2 quarterback. Others say he's a Tier 3 quarterback. Let's put that into complete context. Let's ask ourselves, who would you rather have, Jared Goff or this other guy currently in the league? Mike, take it away.
All right, well, would you rather have Jared Goff or Mitchell Trubisky?
I would not hesitate in taking Jared Goff over Mitchell Trubisky. You know I'm not a Trubisky believer. He goes down. They win the game yesterday with Chase Daniels at quarterback. It just shows what that team is, the Bears team. That's a defensive team. And by the way, let's do this question. Let's tee this up a little bit later in the Will Cain Show. Can you win the Super Bowl with a big-time defense, big-time weapons, and a below-average quarterback? Because not only are the Chicago Bears attempting to do that, but so are the Minnesota Vikings. And Jared Goff is better than both. Who's next, Mike?
All right, how about Baker Mayfield?
Jared Goff has given us a lot more evidence. He's done so much more than Baker. But I just do believe in Baker's talent over Jared Goff's talent. I believe in Baker's fire over Jared Goff's Eli Manning face. I believe that if Baker Mayfield had a coach, if he were coached up in the way that Jared Goff has been, Baker Mayfield would produce more on the top end. I think his ceiling is higher than Jared Goff. I'd rather have Baker Mayfield, Mike.
All right, Will, you teased it. Give us the answer. Jared Goff or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Man, Jimmy G started to put together a season. The San Francisco 49ers, the only undefeated team left in the NFC. That's only because they sat out this past weekend. Jimmy G can play some. Jared Goff can play some more. Jimmy G turns it over. That's what Jared Goff's doing right now. But Jimmy G has not had a stretch where he has not thrown interception. I still look back on it, and Jared Goff outdueled Patrick Mahomes. Jared Goff just went to the Super Bowl. Give me Jared Goff over Jimmy Garoppolo.
All right. He's getting a lot of flack right now, but how about Kirk Cousins in Minnesota?
Give me Jared Goff. I mean, no need to delay or drag out this one, Kirk Cousins is decidedly below average. Jared Goff is above average. Give me Jared Goff.
A few years ago, I'd be surprised to bring up this name, but how about Matt Ryan?
Give me Matt Ryan. Same resume to this extent. Both have taken their teams to the Super Bowl. I think Matt Ryan's put more consistency together out there. Boy, it looks like I was wrong on the Falcons. They stink. I don't know how much that I need to start laying on Matt Ryan's feet. But give me Matt Ryan. But for an incredible Tom Brady comeback, Matt Ryan today has a Super Bowl.
All right, well, how about last one? Deshaun Watson or Jared Goff?
Deshaun Watson had some problems yesterday. He's holding that ball too long. He's missing some receivers. But similar to Baker Mayfield, I think I like Deshaun Watson's high end above Jared Goff. The risk I'm running is Deshaun Watson's health. But I'm going to take Deshaun Watson over Jared Goff. Thank you, Mike. And I think this one right here sums it up. In an amazing game yesterday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions, who might be much better than anybody expected, Matt Stafford showed once again that he's like the best golfer that hasn't won a major. Matt Stafford can play, fit in a tight pass between 4 Chiefs defenders for a losing effort touchdown. What do you think Matt Stafford would look like in Sean McVay's offense? What do you think Matt Stafford would look like playing for the Rams? I think it'd be pretty nice. I think Jared Goff is low-end tier 2, perhaps high-end tier 3. Let's talk to a former NFL player. There's a theory going around that every NFC battle looks like Cowboys-Saints. It looks like Saints-Rams. It looks like a bloodbath. It looks like a slugfest. Not the high-flying, high-powered, schemed-up, amazing offenses, but just punches to the nose over and over. Let's find out. Is that truly how you win in the NFC? Next on The Will Cain Show. Who is Jared Goff? I asked you that question, and the names are trickling in. Some of the suggestions. He's Kerry Collins. He's Danny White. And my favorite so far, he's Drew Bledsoe. It's the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, and you can answer that question at 888-729-3776 on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. But now, ESPN football analyst Jeff Schwartz joins us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Prep your engine for winter with Pennzoil Synthetic Motor Oil, the first motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. The proof is in the Pennzoil. What's up, Jeff?
Oh, not much, buddy. Had a great weekend of NFL. Tonight's game might be the first game in a long time. I just go to bed at halftime, so I'm looking forward to some sleep tonight.
Now, I'm not going to lie, Jeff. I'm actually, and this may show that I'm a football addict, but I'm actually kind of intrigued with Zach Taylor and the Cincinnati offense, and I just kind of want to see. Hey, you know why I want to see what I'm into on the Bengals offense? Is I'm a little bit into this idea of, what is Jared Goff? Like, everybody always says, well, what happens if you put Andy Dalton in the Rams offense, right? And in a way, we're seeing Andy Dalton in the Rams offense, or some version of it, with the progeny of Sean McVay in Cincinnati now. So I am curious, does this Bengals offense become something that answers that question of what would Andy Dalton